All right, Coach, you want to start off with your first thoughts?
Yeah, terrific win. Eastern Illinois, they make it tough. Style of play, patience on offense, the 1-3-1. I think the 1-3-1, and that it was my fault. I was trying to, the first time they went 1-3-1, I tried to run a quick hitter, and I should have just went with our continuity that we run against it and keep those guys aggressive. We got a little too passive, and we struggled against it at times to where, in the past that we've faced it, we moved the ball and made shots, but then we missed some open opportunities too. But I thought this was a complete defensive game. Now, I may change my mind when I watch the tape, but we wanted to hold them to 60 or less. We did that. We 18% from the three, 41% from the field, and they got the last layup at the end. But I thought we guarded, very well for the majority of the game and communicated and competed for the most part, and that's what I was really proud of. The game, we never could really get the game put away until really Moss's three, but that's a credit to Eastern and really trying to dictate the tempo of the game tonight.
You talked about the defense stepping up tonight. You only allowed 6 points in the final 6+ minutes of the game. Just talk about did y'all change anything, or is it just the intensity picture?
No, I just think that the sense of urgency when you're up. I kept telling the guys, hey guys, it's hovered. That's the worst feeling. I've been in here a lot of times, and it's not really the last several years, but when first it's 6-8, it's 6-8, it's 6-8, it's 9, and you just don't put teams away, and then they make a shot or they get a quick transition three like they did, and now it's 4. But we were able to respond, and I think the sense of urgency for them changed, and it needed to. And I think the last 5 minutes of the game we really guarded.
Of course, clinch, all that good stuff, and I know you don't care about it because you're the coach side of it. But at the same time, knowing that you have that double bye.
Well, the double bye is terrific. The double bye is terrific. Just because you only have to win 2 games in 2 days to go to the NCAA tournament, that part's great. This team, the depth, when we will play 7 guys, we'll play an 8 or 9 CJZ at times, but only having to play 2 games in 2 days is an advantage, and that's big for us. But I told our guys, I said, people are going to ask you about it. I said it's great that we did that, but Belmont's 11-2, we're 11-2, Moorhead's 9-3. We have a realistic chance to continue to play for for a conference championship, and whether we share it with 1 team, 2 teams, 3 teams, 4 teams. The Big East last year they had a 4-team tie. The Big Ten a year or two ago, 4-team tie. So conference championships, like I told our guys, are tough to win. So our focus right now is just trying to beat a really good Moorhead State team on Saturday, who I think is playing as good as anybody in our league.
Was Farrell's dad in town today?
No, I got a letter from I won't name the guy's name, but I got a letter from somebody who went to Murray State. I guess it was Friday morning. I think Friday morning. And the first half of the letter I read to the team. The second half was I couldn't read. It wasn't. It's just something I needed to keep to myself. But he gave me advice on what to tell Farrell. So I read it to the team. Farrell demonstrated it, and he's 7 for 9. And the letter said, step to the line, take a foot back, dribble twice, jump 2 inches off the floor, and aim at the top of the white square to get good arch. And, he was almost perfect tonight.
Have you ever heard an arena get so loud for a free throw?
No. But, if he could go 7 for 9, the problem is he goes 7 for 9, and then Jarvis goes 4 for 8, Dexter goes 1 for 2, Sapp goes 3 for 6. We just can't ever do it together, so maybe we're saving it up. But, we appreciate the letter, and send some for Jarvis, I guess.
And talk about Blanford on their side.
Yeah, he's, I credit him. He's a tough kid. When you just look at him from the outside, seems like a great kid. I know they had some suspensions. He wasn't there in this, one suspended. So the first thing I think about when I think of Blanford is senior, toughness, must have great character, 35 minutes, 26 points, 8 rebounds. He's playing like a senior, and I'm sure Coach Spoonhauer's really, really proud of him. And with those suspensions the other night, I knew they would come out here, those guys, because Olivier is a good player, and a couple of other guys that got suspended the other night are good players. And I respected a lot of respect for Coach Spoonhour to make that decision, because in a win-loss business, but he's trying to build a culture and a program. So I knew those guys would respond in a good way tonight, and they did. And that's a credit and a testament to Coach Spoonhour and his kids over there.
Is Blanford a first-team all-league guy in your opinion?
Yeah, he's got to be. He's got to be. Eastern Illinois, the tough thing about their schedule, and I was talking to Coach before this, they finished with 4 in a row. That's almost unheard of. And they go P, Murray, Belmont, Edwardsville. I mean, whew, I'd be irate if we were finishing 4 like that. So I feel for them. I mean, they played. I thought they played. I don't know. I thought they played pretty well tonight, and I thought he did a really good job managing the game, and I thought his kids responded. The kids that face some adversity really responded. You look at Olivier; he comes in 14 points. After being suspended the other night. So those kids they handled themselves well tonight and really competed. Reggie Smith something must have been wrong with him. He must have been cramping or something. I know he kept coming in and out, so that probably affected their team a little bit too, because he's a terrific talent. But Blanford, with no question, is an all-league talent. You look at teams, you say, would you want him on your team? And obviously you'd want Blanford on your team.
Week off coming up. Is this a good time to get that week off?
Yeah, it's a good time. It's great because it's always hard for me to get out and go recruiting. It gives me an opportunity to get out, and gives the opportunity for the guys to get a little bit of rest, who are banged up a little bit. So Monday we'll lift weights, Tuesday we'll do individual workouts, and this time of year it's hard to have a whole week long of practice and without getting these guys just bored to death. So Monday weights, Tuesday workouts, and then we'll get back on the floor Wednesday to get back to our stuff, and then Thursday and Friday get ready for Moorhead, and we got a tussle on our hands on Saturday.
All right, Coach.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it.